Hello and welcome everybody to our second online Messy Church in our series on Waiting for Jesus. Today is the 29th of November when I'm recording it anyway, and it's the first Sunday in Advent. And I hope you're excited to see I've got the Advent wreath here. We light one candle each week in the 4 weeks of Advent. The light gets brighter and brighter as we wait for Jesus. And on Christmas Day, we light the white candle in the middle to remind us that Jesus, the light of the world, has come. So I am going to light the first candle. Jesus is the light of the world. A light no darkness can ever put out. So that's a bit of a shame you can't be in church, because normally lighting the candle is a child's job, isn't it? So I'm really sorry. For this week you can't come to church. From next week church is allowed to be opened again. But we are going to have a lovely time in online Messy Church. So I hope you're looking forward to all the activities we're going to do today. What we're going to do today is we're going to think about the people who are waiting for Jesus. So I don't know if you remember, but in our last Messy Church, we learned that King David was waiting for a king to come. And today we're learning that the people were waiting for a baby to come. The people were waiting for a very special baby to be born. That's our theme of our Messy Church today. Welcome, everybody. So I've just lit our Advent candle, and for our first craft today, I thought you might like to make an Advent wreath for yourself at home. So I'm going to make mine starting with a paper plate, but if you don't have a paper plate at home, you can just start by cutting a circle out of paper or out of card. And in fact, to make the wreath shape, you need to be a little bit careful about this, because you need to make a punch with the holes. You need to punch a hole through the plate. But I'm actually going to cut out, I'll stop midway to show you, I'm going to cut out the middle bit of that plate to make a wreath. So I'll just do that and then I'll show you. Just be a little bit careful when you do that, because you need to punch the hole through first, and you just need to make sure your hand is well out of the way so that you don't hurt yourself. So you might ask a grown-up to help you with that. I've just realized why I'm having so much difficulty. So I've got two paper plates here. There we go. Let's try with one paper plate. So I've got the paper plate and I've cut out, as I said, be careful whilst you do that. Ask a grown-up to help you, the center. Then we need to make it all nice and green, don't we? Now I'm going to do that by sticking some crepe paper onto the plate, but you might have tissue paper at home, or you might have another idea. You might even, actually, depending on where you live and who you're with, you might even go outside and pick up some leaves and do it with some leaves or some real greenery. Or if you don't have any of those things at home, you can just simply do it with felt tips. That would be okay as well. So let me show you as it's in progress. So I'm going to stick some green on, and I'm just doing this quickly, but you can do it much, much more neatly if you want to. You could even cut out, couldn't you, proper shapes, branches or leaves, all before you start sticking it on. And I'm going to stick all around my green, as I say, I'm using crepe paper, but if you've got tissue paper at home, that's fine. If you've got felt tips at home, that's fine. I'm going to stick the green paper all around to make a green wreath like that. So I'm just hiding the last bits. Oopsie, just hiding the last bits of the green. That needs a bit of tidying up, doesn't it? There we go. And then actually, it may in fact be a better idea to do this bit first. There's a little bit of white left there, isn't there? Let me get a bit of crepe paper to stick over that bit. Make it all completely nice and green. There we are. I think I'm getting there. There we go. And then you might like to get a little bit of ribbon or a bit of wool if you don't have any ribbon at home, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to stick that onto the back so that my wreath can hang up. So there we are. I've stuck the ribbon on the back so that my wreath can hang up. Now we need to do some decorating, don't we? So you see what you can find at home to decorate. I thought it might be quite nice. So I've got, I don't know if you recognize these for when you come into church to do the Christmas unwrapped boxes, but I've got some sticky stars in church. So I'm going to put some stars on. But I also thought it would be quite nice actually if you just put one on today. That's another idea. And then you can put more and more stars on. You know, like you open your advent calendar and perhaps get a chocolate or something every day from your advent calendar. You could make your advent wreath so that you stick on a star every day waiting for Christmas, and then it will get brighter and brighter, just like our... So I'm going to pretend it's tomorrow and put another star on. But you can see where I'm going with that. You can have more and more stars, and you can make your advent wreath brighter and brighter. And the other thing you can do, you could make that a special time in your family, couldn't it? You could, every day, as you stick on another star, you could say why you're looking forward to Jesus, why you're waiting for Jesus. And I'm just going to show you, in case you're thinking you haven't got any special stars at home. I was going to cut out the star from yellow paper. Hang on a minute. Not doing very well at cutting out a yellow star at the moment. But if you've not got some sticky stars, you can always, that's a bit better, I'm doing a bit better second time around. You can always use paper. I'm sure you can find some paper at home, and you can cut out some stars from paper. You could find different color paper. If you don't have different color paper, you could color different colors. There you are. And you can make a pretty advent wreath with lots and lots of different stars. And as I say, you could make it all today, or you could decorate it all today, and then you've got something beautiful to look at every day. Or you could do like I've done it and just make it quite bare today. Don't finish it off today, oopsie, but you can finish it off every day as you put another star on, and that you could make that a special time when you talk every day about we're looking forward to Jesus coming. So I said today, when we're thinking about people who were waiting for Jesus, who were looking forward to Jesus, the people were waiting for Jesus. This is what Isaiah had said a long time ago. The people, there's our word, the people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep distress, a light has dawned. That's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 2. And this is the verse we're thinking about today, verse 6. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. That's a lovely promise, isn't it? That a special baby is going to be born. And that's what the people were looking forward to, because they knew this prophecy of Isaiah. So I've got my first thinking question for you today, and it'll be on the screen in a minute. What do you do when you're waiting for a baby? What do you look forward to when you're waiting for a baby? What preparations do you make? Let's think about looking forward to a baby. Some of you might know about this. You may be able to remember a baby being born in your house, or some of you may need to ask the grown-up you're with, or some of you may have heard about this from a friend in school. What do you do when you're looking forward to a baby being born? What does it mean? What preparations do we make when we're waiting for a baby to be born? We're thinking today about how the people were looking forward to a new baby being born. So I'd like you to think a minute now about what it's like when a new baby is born. And if you're waiting for a new baby to be born, what do you do to get ready? Perhaps you've had a new baby in your own house, or perhaps somebody in school, a friend, has had a new baby. So think about what it's like when a new baby is born. If you can't think for yourself, you can always ask the grown-up you're with. So I'm going to pause for a minute now, and I'd like you to talk about what it's like when a new baby is born. If you need more time, you can just stop the video. So I've asked you to think about what you do to get ready when you're waiting for a baby. I'm sure you've had lots of good ideas, like going and buying some nappies, or perhaps you might decorate a bedroom in baby colours, or if it's your first baby, you might need to go and buy a pram and a baby bottle, or even clothes. Baby clothes are fun. I used to love buying baby clothes. They're so fun and so pretty, aren't they? But one of the things most new parents do is spend quite a lot of time choosing the right name for their baby. Quite often people have lots of names they like. They start thinking, if it's a boy, what name shall we have? If it's a girl, oh, that name's pretty, but that's another name. What name shall we have? Is this a good name? Do we all like this name? Should we name the baby after somebody in the family or somebody famous? Lots of people who are waiting for a baby spend a long time choosing the name for their baby. So I'm going to stop now and I'm going to ask you to have a think about choosing a name for a baby. And in particular, I want you to think about your name. Who chose it for you and why it's special? So I said we were thinking today about the people looking forward to a baby being born. And what was very special about this baby is that he had some very, very special names. I'm going to tell you about those names in a minute. But just to get you thinking, I'd like you to stop and talk together now about what's your name and why is it special to you. And whilst you're doing this, you'll probably have lots of stories about your family and the history of your family and so on. As you probably know, my name's Lydia, and that name was chosen specially for me by my mum and dad because Lydia is one of the people that Paul spoke to in the New Testament, and she believed in Jesus, and she invited Paul into her house and cared for him and looked after him. So when my parents called me Lydia, they specially wanted me to be like that lady, welcoming Jesus, coming to know Jesus in my own heart and being able to welcome other people into my house. So that's the special meaning behind my name. So I'm going to pause for a minute and I'm going to give you time to say, what's your name and why is it special to you. And if you need a little bit more time to talk, perhaps if there's lots of you and everybody needs a turn to talk, then you can just stop the video. So I've asked you to think about why your name is special. In the reading from Isaiah, where people were looking forward to the baby being born, Isaiah had given 4 very special names to the baby. These were the names: Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Those are very, very special names. And I'm going to stop now. I'm going to ask you, before I tell you what I think, I'm going to ask you to think and talk about what those names mean to you. The names will be on the screen so that you'll have them in front of you. So these are the very special names the baby that the people were waiting for, the baby was given. So have a think about what these names mean. I said that the baby that people were looking forward to had some very special names. And here they are. These are from Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. The baby's name was going to be, or the baby's names were going to be, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. 4 different names there, and quite difficult perhaps, some of them. So I'd like you to have a think and a discussion with the grown-up you're with. The grown-up you're with may need to help you a little bit because these are very challenging questions. What do these names mean, do you think? Like, what does, say, let's take the easy one to start with. What does Prince of Peace mean? Talk about each of the names and then think about which one is particularly special to you and why. So I'll give you some time to do that now. If you need more time, you can just stop the video. I wonder what you've been thinking and talking about. Let's think of those names together just for a minute. So the first name was Wonderful Counselor. A counselor, you may know, you may have a school counselor, is somebody who we can talk to, who listens to us, who gives us advice, who gives us help with thinking. So when the baby's name is Wonderful Counselor, this baby is going to be somebody who shows us the way, who helps us to think, who teaches us new things. And of course, we know that this baby who grew up to be Jesus, Jesus showed us the way. He showed us the way to live. He showed us the way back to God by the way he lived, by the teaching he gave, by the stories he told. Jesus is a wonderful counselor. The second name was Mighty God. That's a good name, isn't it? Mighty, strong, powerful. Jesus is strong God. A strong person can keep us safe. They can protect us. They can help us when we are weak and perhaps feeling a bit sad. So that's the second name, Mighty God. Third name is Everlasting Father. By saying Everlasting Father, everlasting means never gives up, will always be there for us. A parent who will always be there. A father or a mother loves us, don't they? They look after us. They keep us safe. They keep loving us. And that's one of the main things I think it means when it says Everlasting Father. Everlasting means Jesus' love will go on forever and he'll love us like a parent does. He'll be patient. He'll keep on loving us. He'll always be there for us. Everlasting Father. And the last name is a lovely one, Prince of Peace. Don't we need peace in the world today? There's lots of fighting, isn't there? People get into arguments, countries go to war. When Jesus finally comes to reign as King, the world will be at peace. There'll be no more fighting. There'll be no more sadness. There'll be no more tears. There will be justice. Everything will be put right. And there will be peace for us all to enjoy and flourish. Those are some lovely promises about the baby, the names of the baby. The people were looking forward to baby Jesus, who he was going to grow up to become. A wonderful counselor, mighty God, our everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. For our next craft today, I thought you might like to make a candle. Now, depending on what you've got at home, you can just do a very simple candle made from paper, if you like. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, yes, you can. This is the one I had made for Messy Advent last year, last Messy Church. So you can see I've got 4 candles, like we have, 4 candles in on our wreath. And you can, so if you don't have a printed out copy like that, you can just cut out candles from a piece of paper, and you can put, I'll show you the words. The words are hope, peace, as yeah, peace, Prince of Peace, joy and love. And you could simply decorate your candle by colouring with some felt tips. So I'll just show you how I started off. So I'm going to start off the joy candle with colouring in like that, and then you can draw a little wick on it, and then if you like you can get the yellow paper from earlier and you can cut out a candle flame and you can stick it on. Obviously, sorry, on this one it was designed to cut the candles out as well, and you can stick it on and you can make 4 candles. But if you've got a toilet roll at home, you can make an even more complicated candle. I'm sure you know how. Sorry, that was me bashing my glue. I'm sure you know how to do this. So you need a piece of paper cut to the right width of your toilet roll. You put the glue, it's much easier to put the glue on the paper than onto the toilet roll. So glue the paper, put the glue on the paper. There we are. There's my nice glued piece of paper. And then I'm just going to roll the paper around the toilet tube, stick. There we go. And I've made, sorry, that needs a bit of sticking down, doesn't it? I have made a candle. Sorry, I'm sticking that down properly now. There we go. And then again, you can decorate your candle. So you could, if you've got some felt tips at home, you could write peace on the candle. Let me just do that. So in fact, there are, I don't know if you can see that, I've written peace on the candle, but you could write joy. You could stick some things on to decorate it. You can make it really pretty. You can make 4 different ones if you like, depending on how many toilet rolls you can find. And again, you can cut a flame and you can stick it in like, oopsie, let me stick it opposite the way I've written peace. You can stick the flame in like that to make a candle at home, or you can make more than one candle, reminding us that in Advent we light the candles.
Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning. Give me oil in my lamp, I pray. Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning. Keep me burning till the break of day. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King. Give me joy in my heart, keep me singing. Give me joy in my heart, I pray. Give me joy in my heart, keep me singing. Keep me singing till the break of day. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King. Give me love in my heart, keep me serving. Give me love in my heart, I pray. Give me love in my heart, keep me serving. Keep me serving till the break of day. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna, sing, Hosanna to the King.
Here is our memory verse for today, and it's the verse we've been thinking out all along, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. And the bit I really want you to learn is the second half, the name. So let's say that bit together. Read on the screen and say it with me. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. So have a good look at the screen for those 4 names: Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Okay, why don't you hide your eyes with your hands, and then you can still peep if you've forgotten, but you can try saying those 4 names, or just do the second half for now, without looking if you can. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Let's do that in a little whisper, just to make sure we know it. So eyes tightly closed this time if you can. Here we go, the second half. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Okay, so if you're little, that's probably enough learning. If you're a little bit older, you might be able to do the first half as well. So let's try the first half. In fact, we'll do it all the way through. So read it from the screen with me. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. So sometimes it helps us to learn things if we do action. So this time, try doing a rocking action with your arms for the first 2 lines, and then try tapping your shoulders. Don't know if you can hear that. You probably can't hear that. For the government will be on his shoulders. So ready, pretending to be holding a baby. Here we go. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Okay, let's try it in a different voice. Let's try it without shouting. Let's try it in a big, loud, confident voice. 3, 2, 1. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Now let's be really clever and combine our actions with our whispering. Are you ready? And if you can begin to try to do this with eyes closed as well if you've begun to learn it, but we're going to do actions and we're going to do a whisper. 3, 2, 1. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. We'll just do it one last time, and I hope by now you've memorized it well enough that you can do it either with your back to the screen or with your eyes completely closed. One last time in our normal voices. Here we go. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Well done, everybody. For our last activity today, which is our food activity, I'm hoping you'll be able to make some no-bake cakes at home, depending on who the adult with you is and what you've got at home. I hope they may allow you to make some no-bake flapjacks, perhaps. That's a little bit more complicated because it needs oil and golden syrup, butter and golden syrup. Or perhaps do what I'm doing. I'm going to show you how to make chocolate rice crispy cakes, because I'm sure you know how to do that. So you need a bowl, you need some chocolate. It doesn't matter whether it's chocolate like that or bars of chocolate. You need some Rice Krispies, or cornflakes will do, or I think actually even oatmeal would do. And you need some paper cases. I'm fairly sure you'll have done this before, but the first thing you need to do is you need to melt the chocolate. So I am putting the chocolate in a plastic bowl. Very important that it's plastic, because I'm going to now put it in the microwave, and then I'm going to melt it in the microwave. I'm wondering, actually, I'm curious to know, I suspect this might be the first time the church microwave has actually come into the chapel. Right, so here we go. You need to ask a grown-up to help you with this. So I'm melting the chocolate in the microwave. In the old days, I can remember doing this craft with my nieces when they were little. And in the old days, we used to do it, not melting chocolate in the microwave, but melting chocolate in hot water. And I can remember when they were little, I had a baby's bath filled with quite hot water, and then we had the plastic tubs, and they stirred and stirred and stirred to melt the chocolate. And I did think about asking you to do it like that, because that would be waiting. You have to wait a long time, like we're waiting in Advent. But I decided a microwave was safer. Right, and have a look at my chocolate to see how it's doing, whether it's melted. Oh, it's not doing very well at all. Better melt it for a bit longer. Hoping this chocolate's going to melt. That I haven't bought chocolate that doesn't melt by mistake. I've never heard of chocolate that doesn't melt, which get a bit worried that chocolate doesn't even look as though it was thinking about melting. Right, give it another 30 seconds, see how we go. So we're waiting. That's a good thing, isn't it? Because we're thinking about waiting for Jesus. Right, do about another 10 seconds. Sorry, the church microwave, I think it's getting a bit old, doesn't have a timer on it, so I just have to sort of guess. Let's see. Yes, the chocolate is melting. Just taking a lot longer than I thought. Right, we'll do another 30. Oh, perhaps not. Perhaps it's burning rather than melting. No, I think it's all right. I think it's melting. Oh dear. That's what the problem that happens when you're cooking with chocolate. You end up eating it, don't you? Sorry about that. I'm supposed to be waiting. I'm not supposed to be eating. There we go. I think I'm going to have to be very patient with this and wait for a long time for the chocolate to melt. But that's all right. Hopefully you're not watching me. Hopefully you've zoomed off to your kitchen to try to melt the chocolate and make some Rice Krispie cakes for yourself. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it a minute this time, so it's only about 30 seconds. So I'm doing good waiting for the chocolate to melt. I think I've forgotten how long it takes for chocolate to melt. There we go. Right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, brilliant. I think my chocolate's melting a bit, so I'm going to have the melted chocolate. And then, actually I haven't made very much here, so I can only put a few bits of Rice Krispies in it. But you tip, sorry, did I show you doing that? You tip the Rice Krispies into the melted chocolate. You go stir, 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 stir. Oh yes, this is working brilliant. Just you need to be a little bit careful. How shall I show you the mess? You need to be a little bit careful about how many Rice Krispies you put in. Just do it little by little, like I'm doing there, because if you do too many, it will all go, it won't stick together. So you don't want too many Rice Krispies, because you want the chocolate, really. I'm sure you agree with me that you want chocolate. And then you get a paper case. I'm sure you know how to do this bit. So you get a paper case. I think I've made enough for 2 Rice Krispie cakes. I hope you've made a bit more than I have. I just made a little amount to show you. And then you get your spoons and you, whoopsie, you pop your chocolate Rice Krispie into the paper case. And then you need to do a bit of waiting. This is a good craft for remembering to learn to wait. This is a good cooking activity. I hope you don't eat these immediately, because you're going to think at the end about having a party to welcome a new baby. So that's your, oh, that's really nice. Oh, I'm quite excited about that. Rice Krispie cakes. I haven't made Rice Krispie cakes for ages, because all the children in my life have grown up now, and I have to wait for them to have children to have my next round of children. There we go. Right, we have made some Rice Krispie cakes. Go and pop those in the fridge so that they will harden up and be ready for our party later. And if you haven't made Rice Krispie cakes, I hope you've made something nice at home. If you want to show me anything you've made today, ask the grown-up with your way to take a picture and to send it to me on email or on the church messenger. It'd be lovely to see what you've been up to. So thank you for coming to Messy Church today. We're nearly at the end, but I think we've made enough things to have a lovely waiting party. So we've made our wreath and you can stick more stars on it. We've made a candle, and best of all, this is why I think we can have a party. We have made, oh, and the crispy cakes are nice and crisp now. We've made our nice Rice crispy cakes. So thank you for coming to Messy Church. There'll be another Messy Church about people who are waiting for Jesus next week, although we're out of lockdown next week. So you can also come to physical church next week with your grown up if you like. But there'll be another Messy Church next week here at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, or you can do it later in the week. Thank you for joining Messy. I hope you had a lovely day. If you've got anything to show me, then ask the person you're with to send it to me as a photo or as a message. Great to see you. It's been lovely to have you today. God bless. Bye.